Hello and welcome to another edition of Monticello Minute Unscripted. I'm your host Keith Wallace, and as always, we're filming in the Advanced Printing Company studio right off the square in beautiful downtown Monticello. We've got a special episode lined up for you today, and we've got a couple special guests joining us. With us today is Maci Edwards and Dr. Katelyn Carmical. They're here to talk to us about a very special program that started up that I think is going to interest a lot of people. It's called Yoga in the Park.
Yes, sir.
And I, for one, am thrilled to hear about it because, there's so much going on when you think about fitness. There's so much that has to do with, everybody thinks physical fitness, but yoga kind of combines that gives you a good physical fitness, but also a very good mental awareness and mental fitness. And the two go hand in hand so much. And Maci, of course, you're a friend of the program. We've had you on before, and you talked a little bit about that, but from what I understand, from a lot of support from Woodside Medical, you've been able to really grow this into an exciting program. Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about Yoga in the Park?
Sure. So Yoga in the Park was a brainchild of Katie and I's back in 2022. So our first season was in 2022, and we offer roughly April through September or October, weather permitting, the second Saturday of the month. Free yoga for the community at McCloy Park under the amphitheater at 9 a.m. And I just love it because, one, thanks to Woodside Medical, we can have it be free, a no-cost event for the community, and it's a very low investment way for people to try something new and come in, try it, see if they like it. If they don't, they can just sneak away.
I love the fact that it's at McCloy Park. It's a very popular park. It's a great place for people to go with their families, with their kids, and really enjoy Monticello. And the amphitheater is super nice. I don't think it gets utilized as much as it deserves. And to hear that y'all doing something so special there and utilizing the amphitheater, it means a lot to me personally. Now, Woodside Medical, Katie, obviously you were on the ground level with this. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about Woodside Medical and tell us how y'all play a role in sponsoring and supporting this effort.
Sure. So Woodside was founded in 2021, and it's my husband and I and a handful of wonderful nurse practitioners. And our whole goal is really just to bring wellness to Southeast Arkansas. It's a very underserved population, and whenever you're looking at the health of the country overall, it's a spot that gets overlooked way more often than it needs to. So our thought was to bring something that, again, was affordable, that was free to people, that they could access, that would help not only their physical well-being, but also help them to check out from all of the stress that's involved with life and kind of have a little bit of peace. And Yoga in the Park really fits that bill.
It does. It seems like it does.
Yeah.
So now's the point where I'm going to ask y'all to sell me and the viewers on yoga. Tell us what drew y'all to yoga and what really makes y'all so passionate about people getting out and participating in yoga.
Sure. I'll start. Well, I, as an 18-year-old, had just an interest in anything I didn't know about and bought a videotape of yoga and did that VHS tape for 5 years.
Okay.
And continued to really move to DVDs and then moved to YouTube. And then only as an adult did I get to go to classes because I'm from a rural community also. So it takes a long time for new ideas to come to small towns. And so I loved it when I moved here. I knew immediately I wanted to teach yoga. And so I started at Paradigm Fitness, like we talked about. Yeah. And what I can say for yoga is physically, it is going to just help you feel better just in your everyday life. Mobility, posture, and balance. We always focus on simple spinal health moves because you're only as young as your spine. And I love focusing on posture, because the quickest way to lose 5 pounds is to stand up straight.
A good point.
Yes.
Everybody's wanting to get rid of that pesky 5 pounds, and that's
works.
a good way to do it.
It definitely works. But on top of that, what I love more personally is physical yoga practice has a lot of focus on how we breathe and controlling our breath, which Western research all supports that you can change your breath and you can change your mental state, you can lower anxiety, you can improve all sorts of internal processes just through controlling the breath. And then a lot of people just come to yoga because they just want a reprieve from the day-to-day, the go, go, go. So I always say, you know, if that to-do list comes into your mind, just say, hi, I'll see you later, and let it go.
Hey, that's a great sale. And obviously, you've got a medical doctor that agrees with you. So it's obviously correct in everything you're saying. Is there anything you'd like to add to that, Katie?
Yoga was actually recommended to me when I was in medical school after a car accident. I'd done the physical therapy, I'd done the medications, and I'd gotten a lot of control over it, but during stressful times, hunkered over a computer and books, it would flare up and cause a lot of discomfort. So after years of different things, finally one of the doctors recommended we try yoga, and that became a wonderful practice for me. And whenever I notice flares, I do more of it, and then life happens and I get busy and I don't keep up with it, and then it gets tight again and we're back to it.
Sure.
And it actually helps.
Well, you made a great point, Maci, too. You know, focus and breathing. You know, these are things that you often get distracted from. When you're breathing, most of the time you don't even realize it. And a lot of times you're probably breathing wrong. You know, I didn't know that the correct way to breathe is more through the nose. You know, mouth breathing's frowned upon. And what Dr. Carmical was just talking about, you know, posture. And you hit on it first, posture. But she was talking about being leaned over computers, and there's so much you do to your body that you don't realize you're doing to it, just because of bad posture or bad performance or whatever you want to call it. Now, yoga. Obviously, breathing and almost a meditative state, a focus, a uncluttering of the mind happens mentally, which we've had guests on that talk in length about mental health and how important it is. And to be able to do something on your own in a group to where you can help yourself mentally, I think is a great idea. And as far as posturing and helping your body, I'm assuming that in yoga you hold poses, you hold specific types of seating? Or?
We do. So we hold postures and practice a different way of breathing while holding those postures. And then we also move, doing a specific type of breathing, moving through the postures. So a lot of people are fearful that they're not flexible, or they're not strong enough, or they're too old. And another thing I like to say is, if you can breathe, you can practice yoga. We have great examples of people who have lost the use of their legs that practice yoga, or have lost the use of some body part, and they have a deep yoga practice. So I really encourage anyone that has the smallest inkling of curiosity to come try.
Perfect.
Try to do it. And from yoga text, the way they describe yoga is it is the stilling of the movement of the mind.
Oh, I like that. It's a good definition.
Yeah.
Well, to kind of wrap up, let's just recap a few things. One, this is happening the second Saturday of the month. Started in April, it's continuing on. So this will be the weekend of May 9th, I believe, will be the next one. And it's happening at McCloy Park. What time?
9 a.m. Second Saturdays.
9 a.m. second Saturdays, McCloy Park. And how long does a yoga in the park typically last?
It's about an hour. I might get long-winded and go an hour and 15 minutes. But
So an hour and 15 minutes. Not long at all.
And we do provide mats, blankets, and blocks for people who don't have their own yoga mat. So if you can come with nothing, and we'll have chilled water if you need that also. Some folks bring their own yoga mat and their own water bottle, but by no means do you have to.
And once again, thanks to Woodside Medical sponsorship and to your passion and giving of your own time, this is something that's open and free to the public.
Males and females.
Males and females. Free. Come on out, see these lovely ladies, learn yoga, improve your life, sounds like a win-win to me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Well,
Thank you.
thank y'all for coming on. If you want to follow along with Yoga in the Park, y'all got a Facebook page. I think Woodside Medical has a Facebook page. What are those pages? How would people look those up?
So I post all of the yoga happenings on the Welcome Mat
The Welcome Mat.
Facebook page and
Woodside Medical we share on our Instagram and Facebook.
Well, there you go. I think that's some great information. I think it's something that definitely benefits our community and benefits
so.
this town. And I thank y'all for devoting the time, effort, and passion into helping us get better.
Yeah.
thank you.
Look forward to having you on again. We'll be back.
You're good.
We always like to have performing artists in our studio, vocalists, musicians. And it's been a while since we've had any in, but we're really blessed today because we've got two very special and very gifted musicians and artists right here in the studio, and they're going to tell us a little bit about what it takes to create a song, from the lyrics to the melodies to putting it all together in a collaboration to where we get the finished product. We have in our studio today our friend of the program, Brandon Hogg. Welcome back, Brandon. And also our newcomer to the program, my friend Terry Swilley. Terry has been a musician for decades, and he's got a lot of experience, and he brings a lot of experience into this studio. If you would, Terry, tell our viewers a little bit about yourself.
Well, I've been a musician, played harmonica for years, since I was a kid. I got into guitar accidentally, and started hanging around people and started writing a few songs. My sister went to work at a studio in Nashville, and I'd go up and visit her, and I had enough songs, so I decided to take them around some gospel studios. And back then, Nashville was completely different. You could walk into the studio, people would see you, they'd say, "You got some music?" "Yeah." "What's that you got there?" "You got some cassettes?" "Sure." And they go in and spend a couple of years doing that, but I got out of, had kids, needed to make more money, got out of that, stopped played a little bit, and every now and then I'd write a song. Then about 12 years ago or so, I got back into it accidentally big time with harmonica, and wound up playing one afternoon with Ben Coulter, and that's how I met Brandon. Brandon and I were a couple of the original Delta Outlaws.
I remember, yeah.
And so from that, I started writing again. And Brandon would come over the house and we'd sit there and we'd play and everything, and so I'd be writing. And Brandon wasn't writing too much at that time. But I'd write some songs, and I'd wrote a couple of them special right together. And I said, man, he came in one day, I said, man, I can't figure out what kind of tune I need to put with this. And the Joker just looked at it, picked up a guitar and started playing and singing. And he did that on multiple songs.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, Terry. You know, I knew you went way back with music. It's been a part of your life ever since you were a child. And it's like you and I talked before we come in the studio, life gets in the way sometimes. You know, you don't get to write, you don't get to create as much as you want to because you've got so many other responsibilities, so much more life, the day jobs and all that kind of stuff. But since I've known you, obviously when you came back, got with Ben Coulter, and y'all were the Delta Outlaws, and y'all were playing shows together and touring all around playing shows, I knew Brandon as a music man. He has music in his soul. And as soon as I heard you play the harmonica, I knew the same was true for you.
Well, we'd see each other at the river when I was
Of course.
Clanton.
Yeah.
That was where we got to know each other.
Jed and Brother Bill would play up there, and of course Tom Jones was always in the shadows with the saxophone. It was always a great time. Music, I could tell, just flowed through you. And you started telling that story right then, and that's what we've got y'all in studio today to talk about, is how you build a song. And you started talking about the lyrics coming out of your head. You know, obviously, they're inspired lyrics. Anytime poetry, which is basically what song lyrics are, is created, it's created from some type of inspiration, maybe something you've seen, something you've heard, something you lived. And a lot of times as an artist, it's hard to give something that you are working on to someone else and let them build on it. But when in songwriting and song building, collaboration is such a key part. Because tell us a little bit about how y'all have worked together, coming up with ideas, adding on and sharing different things.
Well, a real good example is the song I wrote, Lawman. I had an idea. It was inspired. I'm going to write this about my dad. I've got these I've got these words written, and they're just, sometimes it's all over the place. It's taking a notebook down and just write single words, no thoughts. And for that one I had, leather belt, blue stripe, just bright, colorful words.
I want to stop you just to reiterate to our listeners. If you think somebody writes a song just by sitting down and writing it out, the whole thing out, most of the time that's not how it happens. It's just like Brandon says. It's little things, parts that have to come together.
It's that, and then sometimes it'll take you in a different direction, but this one was focused, and I had all these words written, and I had a kind of an idea of what I wanted to say. Well, he took that and he put it into poetry style. He put it into verses and made everything make sense. And then I went on top and put the music. Oftentimes you start out with an idea. I want to write a song about this. Sometimes you're just thinking of a fictional story. Sometimes you have a conversation and you hear one word or one line and you have to tell yourself, go write that down. That's a song. So
on that particular song, Lawman, of course you performed that in studio. I think it was season 1. It was a great song. You had the idea and Terry gave the structure and helped structure it. And then you came back with the melody, the music. And I know Terry's got a studio. I've been inside of it, out there at his house. I know you're able to create music and kind of mix music together. And all that, it takes all that different type of collaboration and work to gel into one finished product.
Right.
Well, that's awesome. That's awesome. Proud to say that you've told me that y'all have recently collaborated and created a brand new song. Is that correct?
We have.
Well, tell us a little bit about this song and tell us about the inspiration and how it came together.
Well, when you asked me to come back on and asked Terry to come on and talk about songwriting, I thought, let's write one. And I kind of came up with the idea. I thought about, we live in Monticello, small town. How can I tell a story and get the point across that it is a small town? There'll be some Monticello references if you look for them, but with Terry's help, we were able to take that and make it apply to any small town. Terry helped out a ton on the choral arrangement and on moving some words around here or there.
Where did you get that? Sense. Where did that talent come from? Is that something you picked up while you were in Nashville, Terry, or is it just something you've learned to do along the way?
When I was in high school, I was writing music, wasn't writing songs, but I did some poetry. Had to wind up in the school newspaper and stuff like that, and I never thought of anything about it at the time. But it was something that was always easy to do. So
came naturally to you.
It came kind of naturally. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, it takes a lot of hard work, and we're going to treat the audience to the first ever performance of this song, as far as public performance, I guess, of this song that y'all collaborated, created out of your own minds, and put together. Coming up next, can you give us the title?
Small Town Peace of Mind.
Small Town Peace of Mind. Coming up next. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with music men Brandon Hogg and Terry Swilley.
Backpack in the front seat, check the rear view one more time. Pointed that old green T-bird towards the Zion County line. A big heart full of dreams, hoping some of them come true. But one more tiny one-horse town, what's a dreamer supposed to do? Bobby was a searcher, just a kid in a grown man's shoes. He thought he knew the answers, but he didn't have a clue. He knew the next stop wasn't final, just a small blot on the road. But his eyes would soon be open to a life he was bestowed. Well, our hopes and dreams at 17 are big, but sometimes blind. And the answer to our prayers are found not too far down the line. Home is where your heart is, and Bobby's heart would find a whole wide world of wonder and a small town peace of mind. The backpack in the front seat held the future he had planned. The autumn air and sweat-soaked hair showed him what the dirt demands. The old man tipped a dusty cap in approval and in pride. And in that silent moment, Bobby felt the searcher step aside. Sipping hot black coffee in a cafe on the square. A friendly smile, a tag red rose, and a sweet scent filled the air. A Sunday morning gaze from Rose, and Bobby knew right then he'd never chase a long white line or leave this town again. Well, our hopes and dreams at 17 are big, but sometimes blind. And the answer to our prayers are found not too far down the line. Home is where your heart is, and Bobby's heart would find a whole wide world of wonder and a small town peace of mind. Like a silent river rolling, those years go slowly by. The roses grew and flourished neath that Zion County sky. You see, your roots don't ever wander, and a heart don't have to roam. But once you find a place your soul finds peace, you finally found a home. Bobby's in that same cafe with Rosie hand in hand. Silver streaks in both their hair like winter on the land. The T-birds in the old red barn, and the dust has settled deep. With no dreamers' roads to travel or searchers' dreams to seek. They're watching through the window, and old Ford comes to rest. A lonesome kid with a backpack is their small town's newest guest. The mirror to the past is seen as he brushes off the cold. And they offer up a silent prayer to a story yet untold. 'Cause our hopes and dreams at 17 are big, but sometimes blind. And the answer to our prayers are found not too far down the line. Home is where your heart is, and Bobby's heart would find a whole wide world of wonder and a small town peace of mind. Home is where your heart is, and Bobby hopes you find a whole wide world of wonder and your small town peace of mind.
We're excited here at Monticello Minute Unscripted to have our sponsors, Monticello Chevrolet GMC, Arkansas Superior Federal Credit Union, and The Woods, a Nightingale community. We thank them for their support and for making this broadcast possible.